Here's another example. Let's say you have an equilibrium mixture of NO2 and N2O4. What happens if the mixture is compressed? Equilibrium shifts to the left or equilibrium shifts to the right. Ready? We're going to assume it's constant temperature. Unless otherwise specified, we're going to assume all of these stresses involve constant temperature, okay? Let's see, I'm guessing 50-50. Let's see, yep. Okay. All right. What happens to your pressure if you compress? Pressure is equal to nRT over V, right? So what happens is the volume gets smaller. Smaller volume, smaller denominator, pressure increases, right? So let's say this is doubled and this is doubled, just for illustration purposes. So what happens to Q? Let's say this was 0.1 and that was 0.1, just for illustration. Let's say this is 0.5 for illustration purposes. So now, okay, you remember this, this is raised to the power 1 and this is raised to the power 2, right? So now I multiply this by 2 and I multiply that by 2. What happens to my Q? It's the square is in the denominator. So it's cut in half, right? So my Q becomes smaller, right? And so if Q becomes smaller, what happens? Where will it shift? Shift to the right. Okay? So what's the net effect here? Let's take a look at it qualitatively, okay? So you can predict it without going through this expression for Q. Qualitatively, you look at it this way. When you're compressing it, you're raising the pressure, right? Pressure is directly proportional to number of moles. More moles of gas, the higher the pressure. So if you're compressing it, but that leads to a momentary increase in the pressure, okay? What will the system try to do? What's the opposite of increasing the pressure? Decreasing the pressure. So how will the system try to decrease the pressure? It will shift to the direction with fewer moles of gas. Okay? So here's what you do. Increasing the overall pressure causes the system, in response to that, okay, you expect the shift to the side with fewer moles of gas. And which side has fewer moles of gas? The right side. If you shift to the right, you're replacing 2 moles of gas by 1 mole of gas. And that's why our prediction is for it to shift to the right. So the correct answer in this case is shifts to the right.